Hello Stampers, this is Sissy Hooper with StampinWithSissy.net. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to introduce you to the new Stamparatus that we've come out with by making this beautiful sympathy card. We'll start by going over the supplies you're going to need for this project. The card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have two pieces of Whisper White cardstock, one for the inside and one for the outside, and that is 5 1/4 by 4. And then a little piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper for the sidebar here. The ink we're going to need today is Versamark for the embossing, Smoky Slate, Crushed Curry, Wisteria Wonder, and Wild Wasabi, and also basic black. You'll need some clear embossing powder, some Wink of Stella, basic black shimmer ribbon. This is so beautiful. I just love using this ribbon. Okay, so I used a lot of stamp sets, but you don't really need them all. I used the touches of texture to do the flower. I used the Hold On to Hope for the beautiful scripture here and this flower and the butterfly. I just use these grasses from the High Tide because I don't really have a lot of artistic talent, but those could easily just be drawn in with the green marker. And also I loved for the inside this Sending Heartfelt Thoughts from the Heartfelt Blooms Stampin' set from the Celebration catalog. So we need some fast fuse for the ribbon, and we need some snail adhesive, and I think that about does it. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to put my scripture on here where I want it. I'm going to line up my scripture here. Because I'm using a clear stamp, I don't need to have the foam pad in. I also find it helpful to put my stamp case underneath the lid, because then it gives me a level surface to apply the ink to my stamp. Add some pressure. Lift up. And that turned out really well, but I just want to show you that if it hadn't, and I felt like I wanted it to be more bold, I could just ink it up and stamp it again. Because I want to heat emboss this, I'm just going to clean off the basic black ink, use my Versamark, and I can close it on exactly the same place, and it should be lined up perfectly. Isn't that beautiful? I just think that's so elegant. Alright, we're finished with this stamp. And now I want to do my, when you emboss, you do get a little bit of warping on the paper, so I'm going to get the other magnet from the bottom to hold it in place. And I want to stamp my little floral image here. I have a little notepad of really lightweight paper that you can kind of see through, and let me show you how I use it when I'm stamping off. I want to use my Smoky Slate. I'm going to stamp off. And I can kind of see where that's going to go. And I also like to have a piece of paper underneath so that I don't mess up my pad. Okay. Let's do the flower next. I'll get my crushed curry and my touches of texture. I think I want the flower right about there. Let me take my stem out and see how that's going to go. Okay. I want to stamp off. That's a little bit lighter than I want, so let's try again. Much better. Take my stem. Using my wild wasabi. Okay, now I want to do my grass. Just love this high tide set. Now I need to move this and add my foam pad. Because I'm changing to a photopolymer stamp. Oh, whoops, I forgot to stamp off. Darn it. Oh well. Wisteria Wonder. The butterfly is from the Hold On to Hope. I'm going to take the foam pad out so I don't get a lot of ink transfer that I don't want. Might as well add my wink of Stella. You probably can't tell, but this adds the most beautiful glimmer. Now for the sentiment. I like to always use the Stamparatus for my sentiments because I really want that to be bold. And that is from our Heartfelt Blooms. You can use the grid over here to help you make sure you've got it lined up evenly. It looks pretty good. Bring my basic black back in. That looks really good, but I'm going to do it one more time just to make it really bold. Okay, we're ready to put this together. It looks like I spread things out a little bit more on this card than I did on this card. So I'm going to put my snail adhesive on here and line it up where I want it. Maybe right about there. Then I'll turn it over and trim it up. Okay, I want to add my beautiful basic black shimmer ribbon. For this card, I felt like I just wanted to make a tie instead of a bow, but I want this ribbon to lay flat so it looks like it's underlining the scripture. So I'm going to apply some fast fuse on here. So I got my gel pad out. I know that I'm going to get glue all over everything. I usually try to tie my ribbon before I cut it off just to make sure I have plenty without wasting too much. Now on this card I did not use dimensionals, but I wish that I had. I meant to and just forgot. So on this card I'm going to turn it over. That's not very straight. And add some dimensionals on the back. I usually put 3 along the long side and 2 at the top or on the short side, depending on what direction your card is going. Yeah, I think I need 3. These dimensionals are very sticky, so you want to make sure they are where you want them before you press. Now we want to add our inside sentiment. You just need some snail for this. And there you have it. Super fast, super easy, and I think it turned out really pretty. I hope you enjoyed this video and will come back and join me again soon. Bye now.